Hello, everyone. Welcome to the English Leap podcast. If you're looking to improve your English while having fun, you're in the right place. I'm Jennifer, your host, and with me is my co-host, Daniel.
Hey everyone, we're excited you've joined us today. Our goal is to help you learn English through interesting conversations and easy-to-follow discussions. And today's topic is really exciting: building wealth.
Yes, building wealth is something we all think about at some point. Whether you want to save for the future, invest, or just understand money better, it's an important topic. We'll share tips and ideas, and of course, keep it simple so you can practice your English along the way.
Exactly. And the best part is, by the end of today's episode, you won't even realize that you've picked up new vocabulary related to finance. Learning while having fun, that's what we're all about.
Absolutely. So, let's dive right into today's topic. So, Daniel, let me ask you, when did you start thinking about saving and building wealth? Was there a moment when you realized, I need to start doing something about my money?
Oh, definitely. It was right after college. I got my first job, and for the first time, I had a steady income. But after a few months, I realized that I wasn't saving anything. I was spending on things I didn't really need. It hit me when I checked my bank account and thought, whoops, I should be smarter with my money.
That's such a relatable story. I think many people go through that moment when they realize they need to start saving and thinking about the future. For me, it was when I wanted to buy my first car. I didn't have enough savings, and I had to make a plan to start building my finances.
Exactly. Building wealth isn't just for the super rich. It's something we can all do, little by little. Today, we'll share some ideas that can help anyone start building wealth, no matter where they are in life.
Oh, and before we continue, don't forget about the PDF for today's episode. It includes all the vocabulary, phrases, and extra tips we'll talk about today. Just click the link in the description to download it.
And later on, our friend Charlotte, our vocabulary expert, will join us to break down some key words and expressions we'll use today. She'll make sure you understand all the important terms related to building wealth.
That's right. Charlotte will explain everything in a simple way, so stick around for that.
So Jennifer, let's start by talking about what wealth really means. A lot of people think it's just about how much money you make, right? But wealth is much more than just your salary.
Exactly, Daniel. A lot of people confuse income with wealth. You can have a high income and still not be wealthy if you're spending everything you earn. Wealth is really about what you save, invest, and build over time. It's about accumulating assets, like stocks, bonds, real estate, things that can grow in value and help you build your financial future.
Right. Wealth is really about the bigger picture, your financial health over the long term. It's about what you keep after all your expenses and how you grow it. When I started my first job, I was earning a decent salary, but I wasn't saving anything. At the time, I thought having a good income meant I was doing fine financially, but I didn't realize that without saving and investing, I wasn't actually building wealth.
I totally relate to that. When I got my first job, I felt the same way. I was spending my entire paycheck on things I didn't really need, just because I had the money. But one day, I looked at my bank account, and I had nothing left. It was a wake-up call for me. That's when I realized that being rich doesn't mean earning a lot. It's about being smart with your money and making it grow.
And that's where financial goals come in, right? If you don't have a plan, it's so easy to just spend money without thinking about the future. I remember when I set my first financial goal, it was to save up for a down payment on a car. I had to think about how much I needed, how much I could save each month, and how long it would take. It gave me something to work towards.
Exactly. Financial goals give you a direction and purpose. Whether it's saving for something like a car, a vacation, or even bigger goals like buying a house or retiring early, having clear goals helps you stay focused. When I was paying off my student loans, I set small goals along the way. I'd break it down into manageable chunks, like paying off one loan at a time. It made the process less overwhelming and kept me motivated.
I like how you mentioned breaking it down. Sometimes when we think about big financial goals, they can feel out of reach. But if you break them into smaller, more achievable goals, it feels less stressful, like building an emergency fund. Instead of aiming for a huge number right away, start with something small, like $500, and build from there.
Uh-huh.
That's a great point, Daniel. It's like building wealth brick by brick. And once you have those financial goals in place, one of the best ways to grow your wealth is by investing. Saving is important, but investing is how your money starts working for you. There are so many ways to invest: stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate. I started with mutual funds because they felt safer, but over time, I got more comfortable investing in individual stocks.
Yes, investing is key. I was really nervous about investing at first because I didn't know much about it. But I started small with my retirement account and then gradually learned about other types of investments. It's amazing how your money can grow over time, even with small, consistent contributions.
Exactly. And speaking of being consistent, one thing that can really derail wealth building is debt. I've seen so many people struggle because of credit card debt. It's easy to fall into, but hard to get out of if you're not careful. Managing credit wisely is so important.
Oh, for sure. I learned that lesson the hard way. When I first got a credit card, I didn't really think about the interest. I was just swiping it left and right. But then, the balance kept growing, and I was only paying the minimum each month. The interest added up so quickly that it took me years to pay it off. Now, I make sure to only use credit when I know I can pay it off in full by the end of the month.
That's a great habit to have. Credit cards can be useful, especially for building your credit score, but only if you manage them carefully. Paying them off every month and avoiding high-interest debt can really help you stay on track with your wealth-building goals.
And speaking of staying on track, that reminds me of another tip: automating your savings and investments. When I first started saving, I'd often forget or feel tempted to spend the money. But when I set up automatic transfers from my checking account to my savings and investment accounts, it became a lot easier. I didn't have to think about it, and my wealth was building in the background.
Uh-huh.
Automation is such a good idea. I've been doing the same thing, and it's amazing how much of a difference it makes. You don't even miss the money because it's already out of your account. Plus, it keeps you consistent with your savings goals.
So Jennifer, we've talked about the importance of managing credit and investing, but there's another simple principle that can make a huge difference: living below your means. It sounds easy, but it's not always simple, right?
Definitely. Living below your means is the foundation of building wealth. It's all about spending less than you earn. The problem is, in today's world, with online shopping and credit cards, it's so easy to overspend without even realizing it. I remember when I got my first raise, I thought I could treat myself to a few luxuries: new clothes, a nicer car. But after a while, I realized I was just spending more instead of saving.
I've been there too. It's tempting to upgrade your lifestyle every time your income goes up. But that's where the trouble starts. You end up with lifestyle inflation, where your expenses grow as fast as your income. That's why living below your means is so powerful. If you earn more but keep your spending low, you can save and invest the difference. And that's how wealth grows.
Exactly. It's not about living like you're poor. It's about being smart with your money. For example, instead of buying a new car every few years, I decided to stick with my reliable old car and invest the money I would have spent on a new one. Over time, those savings really add up.
That's a great point, Jennifer. And another thing that really helps with wealth building is having multiple streams of income. You don't want to rely on just one paycheck. I started a small online business as a side hustle, and it's been a great way to bring in extra income. It also feels good knowing I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket.
Oh, absolutely. Relying on just one source of income is risky. If something happens to your job, you're in trouble. But if you have multiple streams of income, you've got a safety net. I know people who have rental properties, invest in the stock market, or even do freelance work. There are so many ways to earn extra money these days. I started doing freelance consulting on weekends, and the extra cash helped me pay off debt faster.
That's awesome. Having more than one stream of income gives you more security, and it also speeds up your wealth building. Plus, with technology these days, starting a side hustle is easier than ever. Whether it's selling products online, freelance work, or even passive income like investments, there are so many opportunities.
Exactly. And what I've learned is that once you start seeing the benefits of having multiple incomes, it motivates you to think bigger and look for more ways to grow your wealth. It really ties into the mindset you need for wealth building.
Right. Your mindset is crucial. I always say, building wealth isn't just about numbers, it's about how you think. If you believe you can grow your wealth and stick to your plan, you'll be more likely to succeed. But if you're always thinking, I'll never have enough money, or this is too hard, you're putting up mental roadblocks.
That's so true. Your mindset can either help or hurt you. I used to think that wealth was only for rich people. I thought it wasn't something I could achieve. But once I started learning about personal finance and set small goals, I realized it's possible for anyone to build wealth, no matter where you start. It just takes time and the right habits.
Yes, having a growth mindset is key. It's about believing that you can improve your financial situation over time, even if it seems slow at first. You have to stay patient and keep going, even when it feels like you're not making progress. Building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly. And I think another part of having the right mindset is not being afraid to take risks. Investing, starting a side business, or buying property all involve risks. But if you don't take calculated risks, it's hard to grow your wealth. The key is to educate yourself, start small, and make smart decisions along the way.
Totally agree, Jennifer. And I think it's important to mention that mistakes are part of the journey too. Sometimes you'll make a bad investment or lose money, but that's okay. The important thing is to learn from those mistakes and keep moving forward. That's how you build a solid financial foundation over time.
Now, before we wrap up, let's bring in Charlotte for the vocabulary breakdown.
That's right. Charlotte will explain some of the key words and phrases we used today.
Thanks, Jennifer and Daniel. Hi again, everyone. Let's go over a few keywords from today's conversation that can help you improve your English. Wealth, meaning the total value of all the money, assets, and investments someone owns. Example, wealth isn't just about how much money you make, but what you save and invest. Assets, meaning resources or things of value like stocks, bonds, real estate, or cash that can grow in value. Example, investing in assets like property can help build your wealth. Financial goals, meaning specific, measurable objectives related to managing your money, like saving for a house or paying off debt. Example, setting financial goals gave me a clear path to follow. Credit score, meaning a numerical rating that shows how reliable a person is in paying back borrowed money. Example, a high credit score helps you get better interest rates on loans. Mutual funds, meaning a type of investment where money is pooled from multiple investors to invest in stocks, bonds, or other assets. Example, I started by investing in mutual funds because they felt safer. Real estate, meaning property consisting of land or buildings, often considered a long-term investment. Example, buying real estate is a good way to build assets that grow in value. Lifestyle inflation, meaning when people increase their spending as their income goes up, often making it harder to save money. Example, lifestyle inflation can stop you from building wealth, even with a good salary. Multiple streams of income, meaning earning money from more than one source, like a job, investments, or a side business. Example, having multiple streams of income adds financial security. Passive income, meaning income earned with little to no effort after the initial setup, like rental income or dividends from stocks. Example, passive income from investments help me pay off debt faster. Automating savings, meaning setting up automatic transfers from your checking account to savings or investment accounts so you don't have to think about it. Example, automating my savings made it easier to stick to my financial goals. Emergency fund, meaning a savings account set aside for unexpected expenses like medical bills or car repairs. Example, I'm building an emergency fund to cover at least 3 months of expenses. Growth mindset, meaning the belief that abilities and intelligence can be developed with effort and learning over time. Example, having a growth mindset is key to building long-term wealth. Calculated risks, meaning risks that are thought out and planned with the potential rewards and consequences carefully considered. Example, investing in the stock market is a calculated risk, but it can pay off with smart decisions. Wake-up call, meaning an event or realization that makes someone change their behavior or take action. Example, seeing my empty bank account was a wake-up call for me to start saving. Put all your eggs in one basket, meaning relying too much on one thing, which can be risky if it fails. Example, you shouldn't put all your eggs in one basket by relying on just one source of income. Brick by brick, meaning slowly and carefully building something over time. Example, building wealth is done brick by brick with small savings and investments over time. In the background, meaning something that happens without much attention or effort, often without being noticed. Example, my savings were growing in the background thanks to automatic transfers. Snowball effect, meaning a situation where something starts small and builds momentum, growing larger or more intense over time. Example, compound interest works like a snowball effect. The longer you invest, the more your money grows. Derail, meaning to cause something to go off track or fail. Example, debt can derail your wealth-building efforts if you're not careful. On track, meaning progressing in the right direction towards a goal or objective. Example, paying off my credit card every month helps keep me on track with my financial goals. So that wraps up all the key phrases and vocabulary from today's conversation. I hope you found it helpful.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. That was incredibly helpful.
Yes, we really appreciate it. Expanding your vocabulary is such an important part of improving your English skills.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Don't forget to download the PDF for today's episode. It has all the vocabulary, phrases, and practice exercises we talked about.
We hope you enjoyed the episode. Make sure to leave us a comment, give us a thumbs up, and subscribe for more episodes. We'd love to hear your feedback and what you'd like to learn about next.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you next time. Keep practicing, stay positive, and remember, building wealth takes time, but every step you take brings you closer to your goals.